Hello and welcome back to the RideBoundless podcast with Robert Valderrama. On this episode, we have Jaime Fernandez and Doni Goodman. Jaime is a creative director, photographer, and founder of Los Pepes. Doni Goodman's an advertising creative director and motorcyclist adventurist. On this episode, we talk about our motorcycle backgrounds, our latest cruiser experiences, and international journeys. Here we go.
How does it feel to be Jewish? Is that what you're about to ask?
And we're live. What's up, Doni? What's up, Jaime?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
Doni, welcome. What's your favorite ride? What's your favorite motorcycle? Talk to me.
Well, I've been riding just for the past 2 months now on a beautiful BMW GSA 50. Is it too low?
Yeah, it's too low. You gotta get a little closer to the mic.
Okay.
It's all
Get
good.
deep in here.
So you've been riding for the last 2 months.
Well, I've been riding for 10 years, but just recently I picked up a new bike due to lovely Jaime over here having his influence on me.
He got me too.
Yeah, to move over from a cruiser and a cafe to an adventure bike. That's been really fun. The GS850 BMW. It's been really fun.
Nice.
Yeah. big
Any
fan of it.
adventures?
Well, I actually picked up the bike because about, what is it? April, March? About like 5 months ago, I did a trip to Morocco, and I didn't really plan it very well. I'd never really been adventure riding, and I just kind of picked up this week. A buddy went online, and he's like, let's just book some bikes. And I was looking at like the Africa Twin and the I don't know, some Triumph Tiger thing or something like that. I don't even know what
Triumph
it is.
Tiger is very popular.
Yeah. And he just was like, let's get BMWs. I was like, okay, sounds good. But I don't know anything about it. But we rode it. We got there, and basically we had these three beautiful bikes. Like these 2019 BMW GSA 50s, and they were just unbelievable. I've never ridden an amazing bike like that. And basically we rid them for like 1,500 miles around Morocco. And they were just beasts. Like they just took everything. We were on highway, on dirt, on rocks, on mountains and gravel, and none of us had ever had any experience with it. And it was like a really awesome experience I grew up in LA and New York, so like I've just constantly been in city bikes, so cruisers and cafe racers, and to just jump into that was like nuts. So I came back here to LA, kind of to visit, not really permanently, but maybe permanently. And now I just picked up a GSA 50 at the dealership, and it's like, shout out to BMW Riverside.
Riverside?
Yeah, you can get like a BMW 850 for like $100 a month. It's amazing. And so, yeah.
Fuckers, huh?
I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're stealing our money.
Yeah, they got all three of us.
Well, one I think one important thing on your,
Who's talking right now?
Jaime. No, I think that you were extremely surprised also because of what you were riding in New York.
Yeah. Yeah. He's referring to my wonderful, we shan't speak poorly upon it, but my 2014 Yamaha Bolt 950, which was, it had its place. It was a non-Harley, which is what I liked. I didn't want to be grouped in, but...
You didn't want to be judged.
I didn't want to be judged. It was like, to be honest, like that was my third or fourth bike. Every bike before that had been like an old Honda or like an old Ninja. Somebody's blowing up. Like an old Ninja, and don't emphasize the Ninja. That was like a first bike somebody gave me. But then I had like an old Honda CX500 that I rode for a while. And it was I just enjoyed the old bikes. And then the Harleys were just like, I don't know, everyone I knew, it was like a different, like 15 years ago, like everyone had a Harley. It felt like they were like Hell's Angels guys. And so I just was not that guy. And so then
15 years ago, you think?
Yeah, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I didn't feel like kids in LA were riding Harleys.
Well, 15 years ago, I feel like
it was definitely
only Hell's Angels were riding.
And parents. And parents.
And parents. I think it was till Sons of Anarchy came out. That's when everybody... that's when it got a little crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was like... That was what changed the kind of riding style. So then coming to when I moved to New York, I just kind of... that's where I met Jaime, and he was cruising around in a Dyna? Sports? I don't know. What were you riding back then?
In an 883.
An 883. Oh, a Sportster, yeah. And
how long ago was this?
8 years?
8 years about, yeah. And then that kind of, when I was out there, I was looking at Harleys and I couldn't do it. I don't know why. There was such a stigma back then, and I totally don't feel the same way nowadays. But
you didn't feel the same way 3 months after. Remember, I got my second Sportster, and you started immediately regretting.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. That Bolt rode really nicely. It was really powerful, and it was just so smooth and lovely. It just was like nobody likes you when you ride it for some reason.
Well, it was really loud. Your bike was really loud, really stiff.
I had the Vance and Hines pipes on it, the twin pipes. It had intakes. I had it flashed. The thing was, it pulled, but it was just a Yamaha, and like I would just get shit from my Harley friends, and like.
Also, thank God that it was a Yamaha, because you abandoned your bike in New York every time you get one drink.
Yeah.
So he just leaves it in the street and
nobody
goes
steals
home.
It.
Nobody steals it.
Nobody touches it.
Nobody touches it. Nobody's interested. So he just abandons it in the street and comes back a couple of days after.
Pick it up in an Uber a few days later. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever stolen a Yamaha Bolt. I mean, brand new, they're like $6,000. So, but anyways, what was the question that we started on? What do I ride now?
What do you ride now? What was your first bike? And
so I had the Bolt up until 2 months ago, and I just got rid of it in New York, but that was just before getting the BMW out here, which is in LA.
But before you got rid of it, did you know you were getting the BMW, or Jaime sucked you into that and you were just getting rid of it separately?
No, I was coming out to LA I have an 82 Honda CX500 that Jaime's been working on. The Los Pepes guys made it all spiffy and beautiful, but I've had that bike for like 10 years, and that was just my cruiser out here. It was just like a classic. It was dead stock. It was like completely nothing custom on it. I think I had maybe 10,000 miles on it, like nothing. And I got it from this guy in Glendale, an Armenian dude. He's like, yeah, I just keep this in my garage.
That's not weird at all.
Yeah. I know, that's where they all are. And he's like, he just kept it in his garage. And he was like, I think I bought it for $1,000, and it rode amazing. It was like my favorite thing in the world. And then when I moved to New York, and so I got the Bolt, and I just left it out here. And then Jaime moved back to LA. And he just started working on the bike to just kind of...
Move back to LA or move to LA?
Moved to LA.
Jaime moved to LA from New York, but I met him in New York, yeah.
Yeah, because you had visited prior, but you've never lived here.
No, I never lived here. Yeah, so Doni shows up one day in my house, and he's like, you need to help me, because my bike needs all new fluids. And I'm like, what bike? And he basically just brings me to his garage and shows me this thing that is falling apart. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, but it's still.
Pass me that bottle.
Yeah.
It's still falling apart in terms of you left your gas on and everything for about 6 years.
Yeah. That was I think it was been sitting in my mom's garage. Shout out to Chava. It had been in my garage for like 5 or 6 years, just sitting on bricks, I think. But I think I had drained most of it. But it was not. Everything was fucked.
So we had to change all the oils and stuff, all the liquids of the bike,
all the fluids.
Yeah, and
you rebuilt the carb, I think, at some point.
Yeah, we did that. But you rode that one with pouring gas from every single hole.
Yeah.
For about a month that you were here.
Well, all the gaskets had the rubber gaskets had shrunk because of just being so dry, and so gas would just leak out of the carburetor.
So I never worked in any old bike, and I proposed to Doni. I was like, well, I'll unbuild your bike completely and fix it all up, and I'll take it to Lucky Wheels.
Yeah.
And basically rebuild the bike and turn it into more like a trucker / cafe racer style.
And you're gonna fix it up, and that's another question that I have for you, Jaime. Where did this passion of fixing everybody's bikes and getting involved with everybody's bikes and telling people what to do with their bikes, and even telling people what to buy and when to buy and how to spend money? Where did this come from? Because
I have no idea.
And do you get enough street cred for it? Which is another topic.
Definitely not.
But where does this come from?
I have no idea. I just like
why don't you mind your own business?
I think it's therapeutic. the building.
You just cost two people here like over $40,000. And
the market just crashed today.
And the market just crashed, and where does this come from?
Listen,
and quote unquote, I think you said once. I can't say I think because I just said quote. I'm going to quote you when you once told me. You said. I get a kick out of spending other people's money for themselves. It makes me happy.
Yeah. So
Something
what I always say is that I like to live through other people's money, right? So what I do sometimes is I just buy my motorcycle, and obviously I'm not gonna buy another one, but I get exactly the same joy if I can convince you to get one. So I go to the dealership with you, negotiate the price, make you buy the motorcycle, you spend your money, and I get the same joy.
Well, I think make is a strong term, but yes.
Well, yeah, I
encourage.
kind of convince.
Encourage, force.
Forcibly
But his
encourage.
negotiation skills are pretty impressive.
Guilt, pressure. Your life isn't worthless. Yeah.
Right.
You need this.
No, but his negotiation skills are very fucking skillful because, you know, me being the GM and financial manager of Harley and being a salesperson of Harley, when you get into sales, you kind of get intimidated by sales. Like, you don't even want to deal with it because you know what to expect in conversations. And when I picked up my Streak line, I had the FX DLS, and I had a bad experience, and I was telling Jaime, bro, I want to get rid of this fucking bike. If I get $14,000 for this bike, I'll fucking give it to them. Like, I just want to get rid of it. And he's like, all right, let's go to Bartell's. So we went to Bartell's Harley. And when we walked into Bartell's, I told them, hey, I'm thinking about trading in my bike. What would you give for it? And they were like, $11,000.
Well, I'm gonna cut you right there.
Okay.
Because there's a part of this that he doesn't know. So we're in South PCH.
No, you just
Yeah, I just
turned my bike on.
I just turned on your bike because it didn't start because your battery wasn't working. Something weird was going on with that bike.
This is
the
a
battery,
new FX DLS that you had?
Yeah,
2016.
2016.
You just bought it?
No,
I didn't just buy it.
2016.
I've had it for about 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
This is
and-
recently, this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And his bike keeps dying on him in the least expected moments also.
Wait, a Harley's not running well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut
Boom.
So weird. So weird.
Now, anyway, no, there was a problem with his bike. So his bike would, kill his battery pretty often. And he's really tired of this situation, and I pick him up. I start his bike with him.
At this point, I've owned over like 30 bikes. This is the worst, most headaches I've ever had on a fucking bike.
I'm in my car, turn on his motorcycle with
He's
my car.
in his Prius. It's not even a car. That's what even hurt me more.
On blast right
a
now.
fucking Prius comes to rescue me.
Anyway, I call him on the phone, and we're speaking. He's on his Cena. I'm on my car, and he's like, if I get $14,000 for this bike, I would really consider selling it.
No, I'll get rid of it.
What did you buy it for?
I'll get rid of
Let's
it.
hear
Wait a second.
I'm done.
Wait a
What did
second.
you
I'll get
buy
rid
it
of it.
for?
Where is it?
Well, no. What did I buy it for? Shout out to my boy Dean Del Rey. Dean Del Rey's a comedian. He got it from El Cajon, Harley Davidson. I picked it up from him right before Harley decided to stop making the bike.
Yeah.
So he was like, Robert, I'll give it to you for 15. So I picked it up for
Okay.
15.
Okay.
And then I put, simple things, bars, pipes, whatever. I did some
Yeah.
customization. So I was probably in like 18, 19.
Okay.
Not a big deal with taxes. But now it's been almost 2.5 years that I had the
Yeah.
bike.
So I'm in my car, and Robert is pissed as fuck off his
In
bike.
your Prius. It's not a
I'm
car.
in my Prius. And I'm talking with him on the phone, and he's like, if somebody gives me $14,000 for this motorcycle,
I'll get rid of it.
right now. And I internally thought, challenge accepted. So I hung up the phone with him, and without him knowing, I called Louis, my buddy at Bartell's.
Oh, you spoke to him prior.
And
Bartell.
I
Nobody
said,
knows what Bartell's. What
and
is
I
Bartell?
Bartell's is the dealership, the Harley Davidson dealership in
Harley.
Marina Del Rey.
In Marina Del Rey.
So I called
Shout
Louis.
out.
I called Louis, and I said, Louis, I can get you a sale today. If
I didn't know
If
this.
you give us $15,000 for this motorcycle, and he said, "Man, this is gonna be hard, but I think I can get it done." So I call Robert.
Well,
And I said, Robert, let's go to
I'm going to
Bartell's.
stop the conversation. I wish you didn't say that until I explained how good your negotiation skills are. But now we know it's bullshit.
Well,
anyways,
it's not bullshit. It's not
anyways,
bullshit because
so I
he said
walked
that it
in-
would be hard, but it was
right. So, anyways, this is why I was saying his negotiation skills were so fucking talented. Is because I walked into the dealership, and me being a salesperson, I'm like so negative and so easy to sell in a sense. And I walked in and I said, hey, if I trade this in, how much would you give me? And they said 11,000. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. Like, I already know this negotiation. Max, I'll get another 1,500.
He's so far off from 14.
He's so far off, exactly. They're like, done. Like, see you later. Jaime responds, well, what if we sat here for 8 hours and negotiated? And the guy's like, 15,000. And I was in disbelief, like, what? So I jumped in and I said, well, what if I get this street light? How much would you give me off? And he's like, 2,000. And I'm thinking, it's 15,000 plus 2,000, that's 17,000.
That's good math, Robert.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's do it. And guess what? I fucking took a 2020 street light.
Honestly, it didn't take that much negotiation. Louis is our buddy, and he knows what he can get.
Shout outs to Louis, Bartels, Maria Del Rey.
We're going to change the name of this podcast to Shout Outs.
Shout outs.
He knows.
Shout out to Louis.
He knows what is a good business for the dealership, and he knows what we can get. Also, we are constant clients of this dealership, so they know that if they take care of us, we'll just keep buying more.
Which they've done a great job of doing that, because I want to also throw in, I've been in this motorcycle thing for a while, and I'll tell you something. I've tried to buy at least 6 motorcycles from Glendale Harley over the last 10 plus years, and I have never ever been able to close one deal.
Because of what?
They don't want to sell me a bike.
Well, for what?
They don't want to sell me, bro. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to give me a deal. They don't want to give me a break. They don't want to, because I personally think it is because I came from.
Is it because you're Armenian? Is that the problem?
I'm Cuban, man. I'm Cuban, man. Shout out to Armenia, which, by the way, I was just there 3 days ago.
Well, you'd think Glendale Harley would hook it up.
You think Glendale Harley would hook it up, but I've been going there for over 10 plus years, and I know at least easily 6-7 bike deals I try to make.
Well, now Rio's there.
They wouldn't make it.
Now Rio's there, so we hope we can.
Right, but I tried to buy a bike when Rio wasn't there, and anyways, long story short, I've never been able to get a deal with Glendale Harley.
Even trying to buy a BMW at Glendale Harley.
They made a deal.
But why do they have a BMW?
They have a GS. They have a GS 1200, 2018, 1,000 or 1,500 miles. They worked a deal. They said it's X amount of money for Rio, and I said, and then Rio couldn't get it because his credit not at the moment. Whatever. Put him on blast. Put him on blast.
Rio.
Yeah.
Rio's a fake name, by the way. It's
Rio's
not
a fake name. It is a fake name. We'll just call him Daniel. That's his first name.
Let's just give his ID.
So, anyways, they offered him a deal, and long story short, Rio did not take that deal. I walked in and I said, I got cash. I'll pay cash. I went to the general manager or the manager at that time, and I said, yo, here's cash. I'll buy it for this deal.
You're going to buy the 1200?
The 1200. That's
Adventure.
Yeah, Adventure. So I offered the exact same deal they offered to Rio that Rio turned down. And they said, nope. I go, what do you mean no? They're like, nope. I go, well, what are you offering? $2,000 more. It was at X amount of money,
just
18,000. Yeah, just because they want to negotiate it. And now after Jaime convinced me,
wait. 3 days after that offer that you gave them, they basically put the bike for, what is it called?
auction.
For an auction.
Oh, really?
And it started way lower than what Robert wanted to pay.
Okay, well, this isn't a slam Harley Glendale
This ain't
podcast.
a slam at Glendale Harley. Shout out to Glendale Harley.
we love everyone at Glendale Harley.
No, we do. We actually
Martha, Jim, everyone that works there. It's just Jorge. We love all of them.
Jesus.
This is just one of the many
Anyway,
motorcycles.
so
This is
how do we get here?
This is what it's like to buy a motorcycle, basically.
Anyway, so
buying a motorcycle is very difficult.
Yeah, so I always get the challenge of getting the deal, right? So one of the afternoons after Robert passed to Glendale Harley and didn't work out, I dedicated the day to the afternoon to call every single dealership in California.
I didn't know this. So you pre-negotiated this and presented something else to me? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that for the BMWs.
Guys, the therapy session has begun.
For the BMWs, I called every single dealership in California, and and I talked, and one of them was Riverside, and it was the one that was more open to negotiation and to give us a better price in purchasing two motorcycles at the same time. And
Did
that's
I buy
why
mine first, or you bought yours first?
I bought mine exactly 14 hours before you.
Go fuck yourself.
You should have bought the little one though, but you didn't, just because.
Let's talk about what deal did you guys get? What was the bike that you guys each bought? You
So-
guys were both riding at the time. What were you guys riding?
I was riding. Well, I had Lowrider S, which I still have.
Yeah.
I was
2000
riding a 2020 Streak Glide.
So Harley Bros coming in hard.
No,
All
we
of a
did. No,
sudden-
because I actually traded in Triumph Thruxton R.
Yeah,
for,
but that was a mystery purchase.
What wasn't that your
No, it
your
wasn't. It was
significant other's bike?
No, it wasn't. No, I always think about buying other brands that are not just Harley. So
Yeah,
the
but
whole crew,
you were-
everybody feels comfortable coming.
You were riding a Harley, and I think you went past a Triumph dealership, and then you traded it in for a Triumph out of nowhere.
Basically, that's what happened.
Yeah. That's
Well, no, it's the same game that I always play.
Yeah.
I walked into a place and then I start negotiating, and by the time that I get a good deal, it's too late to back out of it. so I just trade my bike for
Paperwork
it.
has been signed.
Yeah. So I got a good deal on the Triumph, LA Cycle Sports, and I sold my all Softail to them, and after I after I customized the whole Triumph,
Yeah.
it was done for me.
Well,
So-
I'm going to jump in and go a little bit more further back. What I appreciate about Bartels. What I appreciate about Bartels and Riverside is that this industry is not what it was. When I was selling bikes for Van Nuys Harley Davidson in 2007, 2008, there was no negotiation. But the reason there was no negotiations is there was limited bikes, there was limited paint schemes, there was limited customization.
It was high demand.
It was high in demand, and it's like what we have is what we have. And literally, we could shit on fucking clients, not that we wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's just, are you buying or you're not buying? You're not buying? Okay, don't waste my time. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And today, some dealerships still try to have that characteristics and that attitude.
Well, that's why Harley is struggling a little bit right now. Trying to
They're
find
not
their
struggling
identity.
a little bit. They're struggling a
Trying
lot.
to find their identity right now.
At 100%, and I agree with that, and that's why when I see dealerships like BMW, Motard of Riverside, whatever the full name is,
Motorrad.
what is it?
Motorrad.
Motorrad?
Yeah.
Yeah, Motorrad. When they're willing to help out with the trade-in and they're willing to help out with the financing, and they see the real struggle to make these dreams.
I think part of that comes from BMW sells gajillion dollars of cars every year versus Harley, all they got is bikes. And I feel like they're a little bit like,
No,
if you don't
but
like
that's
us,
not true.
No,
too,
it's,
because
it's
if
also
you
the it's also the clientele. When you walk in a BMW dealership, and you know that the guy that walks in, the lowest motorcycle they have is $16,000, and they're not gonna negotiate anything.
that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
they
It's
don't
like,
need to.
They're not desperate for money. They're like, these are what we have. We
Again,
sell all
but
these,
not being desperate for money, they're open to negotiation, which is the weird part, right? Because Harley, they know that their public doesn't have that much money. There's people that the most precious value that they have is their Harleys. A lot of people that they ride Harleys. So you would think that there will be more open to negotiation when somebody walks in that doesn't have that great credit or
I
that
think
many
there's-
down
I think
payment.
They're still working on their identity, and like a lot of the people that work at the dealerships have been with the Harley brand for a long time. It's like I don't know, they're in transition.
No, they're definitely
that's
in
like a lot
transition.
of-
Didn't their CEO just step down?
Yeah, I don't know. I know they just did an entire rebranding from Droga 5 out in New York.
Which still haven't put in
They
in
haven't
use
fully
at all.
launched it yet. Yeah. Well, they just had that Super Bowl spot, but it was also kind of weird. Anyways, yeah.
What was their Super Bowl spot?
They just kind of took this it was very inspired by this French film, which is basically just like a film camera mounted on the front of a motorcycle, like a film camera mounted on the front of a bike, just like attached to the wheel. So it's super bumpy, and it's got like an old what's that Italian movie with the
Italian Job? No.
It's like an Italian Job feel, like a dusk shot, and it's just like this really beautifully shot, old film shot through France, through Paris, like at night, and then it just at the end is like, I forget the tagline. God, I'm doing it terrible. But basically, it's unfortunately it just feels super generic to me. I think it's like a nice twist for Harley to try and adapt, but it's like you basically could put any motorcycle brand at the end of it, which is just like ride free or something.
Right.
I don't know, some weird line like RideBoundless.
Right.
I don't know, something weird. But
Pun intended.
it's really beautifully shot, but it feels like it should be like a Triumph commercial or like a Moto Guzzi or something. Yeah, like a Norton, something with like old European roots. It does not have like an Americana feel. I feel like Harley has like an opportunity to like relate to young new Americans, and I don't know what they're doing. Honestly.
I feel like technology wise, they're trying hard. Like the new, I don't know if you've tried the new the LiveWire.
No,
That is incredible.
The $30,000 electric
Yeah, but it's a
motorcycle.
30,000 electric motorcycle that only goes 100 miles.
No, it goes more.
No, it goes what, 110 miles?
120 or
Who's that
something.
for?
It doesn't matter, bro. It's the only
What's
people.
the point?
I think
the
it's
only
beautiful.
people that are taking a real leap on something like that. It's easy to talk shit about it.
Wait. What do you mean? The only people that are taking a leap to
Well,
do
yeah,
that?
there's Scarborough.
There's Zero.
The Zero, yeah.
They've been around. I've been
Continue.
test riding Lero.
I'm sorry, I don't think
Continue. What other brand?
I don't think we need electric motorcycles.
I think we do.
Motorcycles get 20 to 50 miles a gallon. They're doing very low emissions. A motorcycle is an engine on two wheels. It is its own thing. Half of the joy of the motorcycle is the exhaust, the engine, the rumble.
Have you tried the electric bike?
No, it's the same thing as
I have, and it feels like a what's the Super
e-scooter.
2073?
Yeah, the
whatever.
Super 73. That's are great, but it's just
Shout out to Super 73.
those are fun, but I don't know why it's the same thing. I mean, to be honest, I don't like electric cars either. I think they're not fun. But for the environmental standpoint, I get why electric cars make sense.
I don't
It's
care
like-
for electric cars, but I
This is
do like the
bullshit.
Cybertruck.
You guys are full of shit.
And I
both of
pre-ordered.
you. You guys are full of shit. You pre-ordered the Cybertruck.
Well, he
Right.
says he likes it.
Everybody,
Right, I would never get a car.
everybody that rides a Tesla is in love, and it's
No.
not just because environmentally it's better. It's because you press the accelerator and you fly.
I understand, but the fact that Harley Davidson made the LiveWire that only goes 100 miles, I'll search it right now just a quick
120,
clarification.
yeah.
Okay, it's 120.
And it's not
120.
cheap.
It's not. It's $30,000, and it's a first gen. That's pretty fucked
Like,
up.
why not make it $15,000?
Well, because the cost of producing a small amount.
Lose money on it, but get people to like it.
Well,
I don't know.
Test ride it. You like it.
I don't want to like it.
That's the point. Because
I
you
don't
don't want to
want
spend
an
$30,000.
I don't want an e-bike for $30,000.
Right.
It's not an e-bike, bro. It's fast like a motherfucker.
It doesn't matter.
But for me,
no,
motorcycles
and
aren't about-
if you use it that fast, guess what? Your mileage is going to be cut down more.
But I'm
The
not about
fact-
speed. I don't even care about going that
Who
fast
wants
on a
to
motorcycle.
spend $30,000
it
on a
really-
bike
it
that's
really
going to
feels
cut
like
off at
fine.
100 miles? That's going to Malibu and maybe back. There's a chance it's going to be done.
For all those people who know
I think
LA.
it's a good prototype that they're testing the market to see how the market responds.
I agree. And then
And
now
then
they're
they're gonna
trying
improve
to,
it,
they're
yeah.
trying
But what
to-
if you go up a hill? What if you go up Coldwater Canyon and catch the Sunset Canyon?
Yeah, 100 miles in LA is nice, but it's not enough to do anything outside of city riding, of like getting to work and back. Yeah, you can't really do a weekend trip on that.
I think the person who spends $30,000 on an electric bike is not a person that is planning on commuting with this bike.
This is what I'm saying, Jaime. You're saying exactly what I'm saying. Harley's trying to relate to people like us who are under 40, working professionals who are trying to get a bike to use. And you're describing a bike that's a luxury item, which doesn't make sense. Why would Harley appeal to luxury? They're already luxury items. They're already overpriced. Why not make a bike that's approachable? Like the old Tracker 883s or the Tracker 1200s, whatever those XL.
Yeah, the
those-
Roadster.
like, dude, those are awesome bikes. Like I feel like people are more likely to buy those than they were.
No, we talked
Well-
about it in the last episode. If you
Yeah.
would have listened, maybe.
Well, if you would have known about the channel. But Donnie, I think like you said, Harley's trying to find their identity.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're trying to do so many wild things. What's this new adventure bike they're doing? Yeah, the
The
Pan America.
America.
I think
It's admirable. I like it. It's just like
I like it too, but
try
I
a little. Like,
I
who's-
think
who's doing your strategy? Like, it doesn't
yeah,
sound that
who's doing
hard.
their strategy
Listen,
and
one
why
of
are you
the-
gonna try to compete?
One of the first things when Nate Schultz is a
Who's
guy.
Nate?
Nate Schultz is a guy that joined Los Pepes about a year and a half ago.
Los Pepes is a group of people that we
We
ride
know
with.
that. Anyway.
Everyone knows the Los Pepes.
Yeah,
in
we
this
talked
thing?
about it in the last episode.
Well, what if someone didn't listen to last episode?
They should start by episode 1 then. Thank you.
It's not a series. People
Yeah,
don't
but it's
listen
the
in
year
order.
Yeah,
2025.
Anyway, Nate joined Los Pepes and we had this discussion about feeling part of a brand that the brand wasn't thinking about us. It was thinking about, other people that we didn't even know. The strategy was a little wrong. They would put in street lights on kids that they were 18 years old. Their strategy for marketing was off, completely off. Even though at dealerships we will mention this and they're like, oh no, not at all. We are all riding baggers. And I was like, well, I guarantee you that none of the people I know under 35 years old want to ride a bagger.
Yeah.
Currently, nor they have $40,000 to spend on one.
Yeah.
Or $35,000.
I mean, that's a joke. $35,000 for a motorcycle.
Correct. It's not a car. Yes. So anyway, we actually got in touch with Harley Davidson Milwaukee with the factory, and they related our questions and our concerns to their marketing agency, and they used us as a focus group, basically.
A focus group.
And basically,
Not a focus group, a focus group,
a
guys.
focus group, yeah.
Fuck us.
Focus group. That's basically what they did, though.
Yeah.
They focus
sure,
group
yeah.
because
What
we had a call of an hour and a half, and basically they didn't answer to anything. They took all the information, hung up the phone, no answer, ever again.
That was it?
That was it.
Sounds like they took your feedback and they put it into consideration.
So it was a focus group.
It was a
It
focus
was a
group.
focus group.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think all we're just getting back to is the same idea that for some reason, I imagine Harley is just being run by a bunch of old guys, old white guys that just.
I think
don't-
slowly they're recycling, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just missing. I mean, look, I'm not a Harley guy, so I'm the guy that's going to say I think they're going to be out of business pretty soon. They're already about to be. They're already.
I've actually been saying that since I left the dealership many years ago.
I don't want it at all to be true.
No,
I
not
think
at
they're
all.
a
Not at
beautiful
all.
company. I think they're a beautiful
100%.
piece of Americana, and it's just sad to
100%.
say. But like, how can you be so disconnected from your core demographic? Like,
So disconnected.
it's crazy.
And
it's
it's terrible. They're not fucking listening. They're not
maybe
paying
a few
attention.
pieces can be made from China. We'll be all right. Like, can you lower the
No,
price?
no,
$10,000.
Coronavirus.
The first thing you see under the tank is all the cables made in Mexico. It's not
Mexico?
that, and it says it on the cable.
I thought there was a wall. I don't understand.
No, I don't think they ended up. I don't think they ended up building it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. But yeah, anyway, so we were talking about why do I volunteer for all these customizations, and it's basically for guilt.
I don't think it's
Guilt.
a volunteer. I think it's a
Guilt.
deep desire to see the joy that you feel with bikes.
I almost think it's a purpose.
Ooh.
I don't know, man.
I think
it's a
purpose.
religion.
It's a religion.
The Church of Jaime Fernandez de Bardabez.
Los Pepes CO.
No, but I do really like both
Is it CO or is
aspects.
it Co?
It's called. It's
Same letters.
It's similar, yeah.
No, I know, but what do you present it
Los
as?
Pepes
Los Pepes Co.
Company.
Co.
Anyway, so I think, and to put an example that is really simple, clear water lights, right?
Which shout out to Clearwaters.
Why not? Yeah.
You didn't say shout out.
Shout out, we pay full retail. I love them.
Yeah,
No, we didn't actually.
we were almost
did
$5,000 in between all three of us.
Yeah, for two.
No, we
fucking
did save a lot
lights.
of money.
For
Between. So yeah. Anyway,
I was gonna
I
strap
think
some flashlights to my motorcycle, but
I was just gonna order some from
The three of us-
AliExpress, whatever.
the three
Alibaba.
of us got the BMWs. We saw that the clear water lights are the brightest in the market. Do we need the brightest? Definitely not.
10,000 looms. It's 5,000 per side.
No. 10,000 each side.
20,000 looms of light.
okay, I will guarantee you, not a single person knows what a loom relative to anything else is.
A loom?
So how do you measure? What's a stock light?
A loom
I
is
think it's
what's
like
gonna light.
2,500 looms.
So 25. So it's
No,
5
stock.
times.
I think it's less than that.
No. A stock headlamp from Harley Davidson is about 2,500.
A
So
stock?
it's 4 times.
Yes.
So it's
four
4,500.
Four times
the
each of
stock
the
light
sides of a
on
bike.
each little light, in case y'all want to bright up the night.
So yeah, so it's definitely illegal. But anyway, to ride in the highway with those lights on.
Safety first.
No, it is, but that's
Yeah.
why the lights come with different settings, so you can put them down or whatever. So I wanted mine for my bike, and I know that in the moment that I put them on, you guys are gonna want yours. So I know that there's gonna be a discount if we buy them all at the same time.
You know that if you put it on your bike, we're gonna want that.
Yeah, because there's 20,000 lumens. You just said that.
With so many lumens.
So many
Everyone's
lumens.
gonna
You're not gonna not want them.
What in the goddamn hell is a lumen?
A lumen is light. Anyway, there's a lot of lumens, so you guys are gonna want them for sure.
So wait a minute, you're telling between the three of us, we're gonna be over 60,000.
100,000 lumens.
If we actually point our motorcycles at each other, we'll create a black hole.
I think.
Holy shit!
I think Times
Are we
Square.
supposed to do
Times Square is in danger. We're coming for you.
If I
Sounds
don't,
like a
if I
terrible
don't,
idea.
if I don't blind my neighbor when I come home, then my night is a failure.
No, but it is a good point that like we don't have super loud motorcycles.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Isn't
everybody else
Isn't
with
it
that.
amazing that when you do the switch to a BMW GS, you realize that all these loud Harleys are just obnoxious and
Yeah, well,
like when
it's
you're
fun.
when you're riding it, it's fun, 100%. But when you're in a different motorcycle
I
and you
like being
and you
quiet.
respect that motorcycle,
Yeah.
and then one of your buddies shows up, and like when we went to Joshua Tree and Eric showed up. Eric is a guy that rides with Los Pepes. .co.co whatever.
.edu.
Yeah, wrestling matches. The
Los
Rock.
Pepe's on Instagram.
Shout out to everybody.
Focus here.
When Eric showed up, his bike was so fucking loud and obnoxious at that moment.
True.
You know, until I got
What
back
did he
on,
have? What did
until
he
I got
have?
The
my
same that we
obnoxious-
have. He has exactly
Right.
the same that we
What
have.
same
Street
thing.
glide with
No.
straight pipes.
No,
he has a
he's
street bob.
He's got a.
With a two brothers
Yeah.
pipes
Yeah.
that we all have at home.
We got to throw a shout out to
Two brothers.
TBR.
Greg,
Shout out podcast.
James.
I need pipes for the 2020 Street Glide. Anyways, you jump on these other bikes, and then these other Harleys get with the group, and you're like, are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me? You're fucking obnoxious.
Although I will
like,
say the GS,
Which there is a
I could
safety
use
feature
I
to
could
it.
use a 20% increase in volume.
18.
But where do I
18.
get this?
or
18%.
well, now you don't
But I don't
Why?
think anybody
because you have lumens.
Because the lumens.
You have
Yeah,
the lumens
your,
now.
your lumens are very
Lumens
very
volume.
high.
No, I could use the Akrapovic one. I feel like it's not loud enough that I've seen for the GS. I've heard
Performance wise, or just because
No,
of
volume.
The volume.
how you feel about it?
I like not in an obnoxious way. I do like the volume of my motorcycle because people see me. Like I come down, I lane split constantly. Probably not to my own advantage, but I lane split all the time. And when I'm riding my Honda, which has just fucking cherry bomb straight pipes on it,
Yamaha or Honda?
Honda 82 Honda CX500.
What pipes did you have?
Straight pipes.
It's just got straight pipes basically. This thing is like
New York, right?
it's
No,
this
here.
is out
The one that
here.
the
Yeah,
one that I
yeah.
did.
It's like deafening loud. It's too loud. But I will say, everywhere I go, I notice cars notice me, and I appreciate it. It's like, oh, okay, they move out the way, they're courteous, they hear you coming. And on the BMW, when I'm riding my GS, like
That is-
Nobody fucking
nobody
knows.
sees
That is
anything.
the
Nobody
only
fucking
thing
knows.
about the BMW that cost me about a couple of weeks to get used to.
Yeah.
Not being able to
Nobody
rev
hears you.
a little bit the engine and let people and guys.
Yeah, when you're lane splitting in first gear,
Moving
just coming
around.
down the aisle in a Harley or a Honda or an old cafe, it's just everyone hears you. Everyone moves out the way.
100%.
And I'm not trying to be obnoxious. It's just safety. Like,
I feel like Moses. I
Yeah.
feel like Moses, and I'm splitting the sea.
Yeah.
For the people that don't understand, I don't know if you guys even know this. Well, I'm sure because you guys are from New York, but you got to understand, California is the only legal state that lets you lane split. It is the only state.
Put it in
no,
there.
Utah, I think, just passed it this year.
Well, they might just pass it, but I'm sure it's not even in effect. And for the moment, California is the only
Yeah.
one.
No, I
And
agree.
when you're lane splitting, I mean, and you got loud pipes, the cars open up for you.
No, California is special for a lot of people that don't ride in California. I've been riding in New York for about 7 years now, and people straight cut you off when they hear a
They cut
motorcycle
you off,
in the lane. They're like,
100%.
"Fuck you! You're not getting ahead of me." And they literally, like, trucks will just turn into the center lane to cut you
100%.
off. Yeah, even if you have loud pipes. And California is amazing. People literally, it's like Moses. Like they just open up.
They open up
Yeah.
it completely. It's funny because I was doing some consulting and working for Eagle Riders, and we did a ride to Las Vegas.
What is Eagle Riders?
Eagle Riders is a rental company for motorcycles. They have 156 locations. Send us a check.
Nationwide.
They have 156 locations worldwide.
And you rent Eagles from them?
And you can rent Eagles from them, but actually what you do is you can rent motorcycles. They usually have touring bikes, GSs, BMWs, Indians, Tigers. They have a bunch of selections of motorcycles.
They're basically the enterprise of motorcycles.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a great way of doing
It's
that.
basically a monopoly.
It actually sounds like you know exactly who they are, and you just make me struggle here.
Well, it sounds like I was just trying to get you to explain it to the podcast listeners.
Send us a check, Eagle Riders. So I was working for Eagle Riders. We did this event in New York, and we invited all the international franchises that we dealt with. And we had about 200 to 300 motorcycles, and we did this nice ride, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the ride, a good buddy of mine, Dieter's been working for the company, since the very beginning.
What company?
Eagle Riders.
Eagle Rider, yeah.
And after we did like about 4 or 5 hour ride on a Sunday, Dieter and I decided to just ride back to LA. And we're riding back to LA, and this is the first time I've actually done lane splitting in a state that doesn't allow lane splitting. So picture this: it's Las Vegas, it's Sunday, and we're heading back to LA, and it's fucking pouring, and we've already been riding for about 5-6 hours. So
5-6 hours. Vegas is only 4 hours away.
No. We were riding through the canyons. We were taking a tour with the group. We were doing everything. We were already riding for 5-6 hours. Now we decided to head home.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It starts pouring. As it starts pouring, I'm signaling Dieter. Dieter's behind me. I'm signaling Dieter, and I'm like, Dieter, fuck it. Lane splitting. California style. Are you down? And again, this is the first time I've lane splitted in a state that doesn't allow lane splitting.
Nevada's close, but yeah.
But but they don't allow it. So all of a sudden, I'm lane splitting. I said, "Fuck it, we're on the fucking an Ultra, a Harley Davidson Ultra, the big touring bikes with the fucking tour packs, Fidado bags." I'm splitting, boom, 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 boom. I look back, and Dieter's disappeared, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" No, he's trying to, but when the people see me splitting, they get in front of him because they're fucking, you can't split here.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Anyways, they make this fucking journey from Las Vegas all the way back to California so much longer. We're getting shitted on weather. Dieter can't keep up because fucking cars keep getting in front of him. It got to a point where our fucking shields are fogged up. I have to pull up to the side of the street. We were somewhere in California. He pulls over. I look at him. I go, Dieter, we can't continue like this. And he looks at me, but he couldn't look at me because he was completely fogged up. He's like, I agree.
From riding so slow in the lane.
From riding so slow. Long story short.
Miserable.
It was miserable. Long story short, it took us probably about, we probably did 10, 11 hours of riding.
No, thank you.
What is the best, what did you enjoy the most riding, Robert?
My most enjoyable ride? Oh,
Just downshifted right there, Jaime.
yeah.
No, I know.
Straight
But
into first.
I just thought about it while you were saying this miserable ride, and I was thinking about which one would it be.
But we don't know. What motorcycle do you ride out here?
I don't know. I actually pay attention to more of the worst rides that I've had than the good rides.
I think riding in California is pretty lovely in general.
In general.
Dude, one of the things that I was thinking about while you were saying that miserable story is that since the moment this is one of the big problems of the BMWs. That you enjoy more at 15, 20 miles an hour off-road, or at least I do. Adventuring that you do at 110 miles an hour on a Harley or on any other motorcycle.
Yeah, the BMWs thrive off-road. The suspension,
really fun. And we've been doing that these last weeks, going to Goodman and
yeah, Gourmet off the 5 was a great experience. I think I ate shit 3 times.
Yeah, Gourmet for those. It's about an hour. I would say an hour outside of LA.
It's on the Grapevine. It's on the Grapevine.
It's sort of a mountainous desert land.
And you have on the left side you have Gourmet recreational area, right? Mm-hmm. And on the right side you have some private property.
It's a private property that
you can also access to.
Completely went over onto the private property and just luckily didn't get shot.
I think the adventure riding is a whole episode we could do.
No, 100%. When we can definitely go into that, but basically, Gorman is between Los Angeles and Bakersfield. It's on the Grapevine, on the toppest part of the 5, and they basically have over 150, 120 miles
it's beautiful.
of riding, and they have different skill levels of riding. But anyways, I think we're good. I think we've covered a lot of topics. I think we felt comfortable. I think we're drunk.
How much time have we been at?
44 minutes.
45 minutes.
That's tight. That's a tight 45.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is the Ride Boundless podcast. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.
Has there been one scary thing that happened to you on the bike this week?
Anyone
shared a scary moment?
Well, it's raining.
This week, I
ended on something funny.
I've been traveling, and I just got back into town on Monday, and the coronavirus at LAX is at 0 precautions because all they cared about was if I was bringing fruit and how much cash I had. And the scare that I had this week was Jaime not picking up my powder coated parts. And my motorcycle is in many parts because he came over while I was out of town.
Yeah, that's solid. Have you had a scare this week, Jaime?
Not at all. My bike
Nothing?
is in parts.
Oh, you haven't ridden it at all this week?
Not at all.
Actually, another scare. Everybody's running out of toilet paper.
Yeah,
Everybody's buying toilet paper.
I hear that.
We're all about the bidet. We got bidets.
Bidet life on the Harleys.
Bidet life on the Harleys and the GSs. We ain't worried about that shit. Please subscribe. Follow us. We're on Doni. Were you on Instagram or whatever?
I'm on there. Great job, Doni, but I'm not too active. But you can check it out.
Good. And Jaime, where can we find you?
Definitely check Los Pepes CO.
And you can follow us on RideBoundless on Instagram, RideBoundless1 on Twitter, and everything else is just RideBoundless. RideBoundless. Thanks for listening.